Steve, we're going to talk about that all-important event, the job interview, and how to go about preparing for a job interview. Give me some pointers about how I should prepare.
Sure. Well, it's a nerve-wracking experience, you're right. And I think really information is the key. So I would advise candidates to research thoroughly. And by that I mean visit the website of the employer that's interviewing you. Certainly get hold of their brochures, if they have such a thing, and look at their company's accounts, and try and build a picture of where that company sits in the market, and perhaps what plans they might have for the future.
And what about details like talking to customers or even employees? Should I go that far?
Well, I think you should. I think if you talk to customers, you talk to employees and possibly competitors, all of that gives you information that you can use to then start compiling questions to ask at the interview. And your on-target consultant can certainly help you with that.
Okay, let's move on to personal presentation, because I guess that must be crucial. Give me some idea of what I should or shouldn't do when it comes to that.
Yeah, sure. Obviously, if you get this wrong, it doesn't matter how strong your CV is and how great your personality is, you can still miss out. So I advise a dark suit, white shirt or blouse, a tie, clean shoes, fresh breath, things that really are going to offend the fewest number of interviewers.
Okay. And what else should I do before I go to the interview?
Well, I think you need to plan your journey. I think you need to make sure that you know exactly where you're going so that you arrive in good time. Although I don't think you should walk into the reception more than 10 minutes before the interview is due to take place.
Okay. And in terms of what I should actually take to the interview, give me some idea of what I should and shouldn't take to the interview with
Right. Well, our consultants can certainly help the candidate with that, but we would think that things that will support their application are very important. It's a sales job that they're being interviewed for, so evidence of past success always goes down very well. That could be league tables or letters of commendation from a former employer. It could even be a letter from a past client. And if they're put together in some sort of folder, they will definitely help the application.
Okay, now once I meet my interviewer, how should I conduct myself?
Sure. I think this is important. You need to be professional. I would suggest that you address the interviewer by their surname unless they suggest that you call them by their first name. And I think that you should be careful that you immediately answer questions as concisely as you can without waffling too much.
Okay, so brevity is good, waffling is to be avoided.
Brevity, as long as you're answering the question.
Okay. And when the interview is drawing to a close towards the end of the process, what should I do as a candidate in terms of what I should say during that part of the interview?
Sure. Well, we have to remember here that the candidates being interviewed are sales professionals, and so some sort of close that draws the interview to a finish is very important. So the candidate really needs to discover what the interviewer actually thinks about them and their suitability.
So they shouldn't be afraid to ask. I shouldn't be afraid to ask that question directly.
No, you certainly shouldn't be. The object of that exercise is to get the employer to raise any questions they have or concerns they have about the application, so that you've got a chance to deal with them there and then.
Okay. Now, in terms of my attitude towards getting a successful result for my interview, how hard should I be prepared to fight for each job interview that I go?
Well, I think, Jeremy, if you've taken the time and trouble to prepare in the first place and you've put yourself through the interview process, then surely the objective is to get a job offer. When you actually get a job offer, you've got a choice. It's the first time that you have a choice. You can either take the job or turn the job down. So my advice would be to tackle each interview with the same level of commitment and effort.
And I can expect, as a candidate of On Target Recruitment, to get any help I need and advice I need from my consultant before I go to the interview. Is that right?
Yes, you can. It's important. The consultant will help you in each step of the way, as it were. And very importantly, the consultant gets feedback from the interview from the employer, which can not only help you prepare for the next stage, but can also help you prepare for further interviews further down the line.